Okay, what's up guys? Welcome back to Code with Cleansing. So in this video, I'll show you how to make queries in Django. You understand how to retrieve data, how to create data. We'll do all this in our Python shell. You understand? So I'll show you how to do everything. How to query a foreign key, how to query a many-to-many field, how to query a many-to-many relationship. I'll show you how to do all that in this video. You understand? So this is a new Django project called Queries, an app in it called New App. And we have three model classes: the book, we have the author, and we have the category. And you can see these three models are connected in one way or the other. If you watch closely, the book and the author are connected via a foreign key, a one-to-many relationship. If you watch again, you find out that the category and the book are also connected through the many-to-many relationships. I'll share to query this databases relationship. I'll show you everything. So without further ado, we are getting started right now. If you watch closely, our admin is currently empty. There is no data in the admin, so we are going to start creating this data from the Python shells and we'll start retrieving them. So you see everything in the video. Okay, so now we're going to go down to our Python shell and start creating some database items. You understand? So just click down to your terminal, new terminal. So terminal is currently open, so just okay. Now we just click on, we're going to delete these two we have here. So we can create a new terminal. Just click on the command prompt and now you run this command python manage.py shell. So run this command, so it's going to take quite some time to run. Okay, it's already active. So after you've run the command python manage.py shell, you need to import these models. You understand? To import I have three models: the book, the author, and the category. So now we're going to simply just say from, our app is called new app, so we're going to say from new app dot models, simply import. We are going to import the three models we have, which is book, author, or simply we could just use this symbol, I can't remember what it's called, to import every model we have in this app. You understand? So just run this command. So now I think we've imported the all model classes we have here. You understand? So now these are with this. Now I'm going to explain how this model structure works. For example, we have three models: the book, author, and category. You understand? So we connected the author and the book using a foreign key. You understand? Which is a one-to-many relationship. You understand? So just assume an author can write several books. An author can write several books. That's a one-to-many relationship. You understand? We can also we have a book and category relationship. You understand? A book can belong to several categories, and a particular category can also hold several books. That's why it is a many-to-many relationship. You understand? So now we've created, when our Python shell, we have imported these three models into the Python shell. So now I want to start creating these model instances from the Python, from our shell here. You understand? First of all, we're going to start with creating some authors. So let's do that right now. So you could just simply say a1 is the variable. Let me say a1 should be equal to, say, author, and the author has a single attribute called name. So you can see the attributes as a single attribute called name. So just simply say name should be equal to, you can simply say mark. Understand? Mark, and put the parentheses and enter, and we just simply say a1.save. So .save and enter. If you watch closely, we just created a new author instance in the model. So just say a1 enter. You can see we have an author called Mark. We check your admin panel, refresh this page. You can see we have an author called Mark. You understand? So we've created an author in database. That's right now. So we're going to create one more. You just simply come down again. Let's say a2 should be equal to author square parenthesis name should be equal to, just say John. Put the stuff again and close it, and a2.save. This, now we have another author. Understand? So we have another author. So if you don't want to put this .save, there's a different way of creating model instances in the Python shell. You can simply say, let's say a3 should be equal to, simply say author auto.objects dot create. We'll simply just say name should be equal to Michael. So enter. Oh, we had an error. There's a mistake. I should have used. I did auto comma objects. I've been auto dot objects. So it's my mistake. So let's run that command again. Going to be A3 should be equal to auto dot objects dot create. It's called name should be equal to Michael, and put the parentheses again. Enter. Now we have a new auto instance called Michael. So I just put in A3 and enter. You can see we have auto called Michael. Now, so now we've created some auto instances. If you go down to our admin panel, you see we have 3 auto instances. That's fine. Now, so now I'm going to start creating the book and the category. If you watch closely, these guys have some relationship, which are the many to many and the foreign keys. So I'll show you how to create items in your Python shell instance. So we'll do that next. Okay, so now we've created some auto instances. So now let's create some book instances in the database instance. So our auto instances are simply A1, A2, and A3, if you can remember. So let's create some book instances. Now just let me say B1 should be equal to book. We'll simply say book dot objects dot create. This one is straightforward. You don't need to put the dot save method again. This is straightforward. So dot create. So simply say the book has an attribute of title and author. Title is gonna be, let's just give the title a, let's say Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. And the title, the author is gonna be one of the authors we created earlier. I'll just simply say A1, and close the parentheses and enter. Now just try B1 and let's see. So you can see we have a book created called Think and Grow Rich. So I'm going to create 2 more books. Let us say B2 should be equal to book dot objects dot create. Just simply say title. Let's say Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And let's give the author, let's say the author should be A2, the second author we created, A2, and enter. So let's try B2. Let's see what we have there. So perfect. Now, so we've created 2 book instances. So now we're going to create some categories. You get. So let's do that next. Okay. So before creating the categories, I'm going to add 3 more books to the database. So I'll pause the video and add 3 more books. Instead, I'm going to have B1, B2, B3, B4, and B5. So I'm going to create 3 more books in the database. Okay. So now I've added 3 more books. You can see them in the terminal. So before I proceed, I'd like to add some argument to this book attributes. I'll just say blank should be equal to true. Blank equal to true. So we can create a category without having to add books instead. And we're also going to say null should be equal to true. Understand? So now after we've done this, now I'm going to run migration. So go down to this other Python, to this terminal where our server is currently running. So just simply run migrations again. So okay, so you're going to run migration, just press enter, and now simply migrate this time around, enter. So now everything is working fine. So run server again, enter. So it's going to take quite some time. So everything is fine now. So I'm going to go down to our shell. Now I think we can create some categories right now instance. So just simply come down. Let's say C1 should be equal to, just simply say category dot objects dot create. So I'm going to create this category. I'm going to give it a name. I just call it fiction. So let me say fiction. So enter. So let's see C1. So now we have a category called fiction. So I want to show you how to add some books to this particular category, understand? So we have 5 books, so I'll show you how to add books to this particular category. So we'll do that right now. Okay, so now I'll show you how to save to a many-to-many field, understand? For example, you can see our category is connected to the books model through a many-to-many field. I'm going to show you how it looks like in Django admin. So now come down to categories. Watch closely, you see we have a single category called fiction. Understand? You can see the fiction, and these are the list of books. Understand? So to add, so say if I want to add, let's assume I want to add 2 books to this particular fiction, to this particular category, I can just pick up these 2 books and click on save. You see we're going to have Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad under the fiction category. Understand? So if on this on the admin section, you're going to do it like this, but I'll sure do that on the Python shell. Understand? So come down to your Python shell and just simply run this command. So we can simply say, let me check if this is recording to be sure. So simply say, we can simply say C1. C1 refers to our category fiction, the fiction category. We can simply say C1.objects, or sorry, C1.books. Understand? We're working with the books. C1.books.add, C1.books.add. So I'll simply add. I'm going to add 3 books, or I'm going to add 2 books to this fiction category. I'll simply add B4 and I'll simply add B3 and B4. Just simply say B3 and B4. So close parenthesis. B3 refers to the book we created. You can see B3 up and you can see B4. You can see them right there. So just simply enter. So you can see now everything works successfully. You see we have C1 fiction that has 2 books attached to it. You can see we have Chicky and the River and Things Fall Apart under the fiction category. And if you check the Django admin, you see everything is working fine. So just go down to Django admin right now. So go down to categories, click on fiction. You can see we have Chicky and the River and Things Fall Apart selected. You see that says everything is working fine. Understand? Okay, so our next step is on retrieving items from the database. Understand? So now we've created some items. So now I want to retrieve these items we created. So now we're going to retrieve all the books we have. That is quite simple. You also may say all books, all underscore books should be equal to, let's simply say, what is it? It's called book, right? You also may say book.objects, book.objects.all. So enter. Oh, there's an error. It's called book and not books. So all books should be equal to book.objects.all. Oh, okay. So enter. So let's see all books. You can see now we have all the books. We have about 5 of them. You get, so now these are all the books. So now let's assume you want to get a particular book, a single book in this time. You can simply say we want to get book with the ID of 1. You can simply say book underscore ID. This is simply a variable name. Let me say, let's call it book dot objects. To get a single item from a database, we use the get method. Book.object.get. Simply say get ID equal to 1. So let's see which book we're going to get out. So let's simply say book 1, book underscore 1. You can see the book with the ID of 1 is Think and Grow Rich. So now I want to filter out the books that was written by the author Mark by Mark, in instance. So I want to filter out those books. So how are we going to do that? So we'll do that right now. So simply come and say, just simply come down here and say Mark book, understand, Mark underscore book. These are the books written by Mark. It's going to be equal to, let's say, book.objects. So now we're going to use a filter method because we're trying to get a list of books written by a particular author, and this author is called Mark, understand. So say book.object.filter. So now we're going to filter using this attribute called author, understand. So say author. So after we said author, now we're going to use underscore, understand, because this author, so we want to access the name attributes of these author attributes, understand. This author is pointing down to the author class we have down here. it's going to point down to the name attribute. So you're going to use double underscore. So say book.object.filter author underscore name. So now, so we can simply put another underscore. We are going to use something we call, so as I was saying, we are going to use something we call field lookups, you understand? So now we've gotten so we said book.object.filter author. The author is under the book model, you understand? So we are trying to get the name of the author, which is from here. So now we're going to use field lookups. Now simply say iExact. This is to say, so iExact is a kind of a case insensitive field lookup, you understand? So we are trying to try for Mark, you understand? The author called Mark, the books he has written, you get? So you understand? So this iExact is case insensitive, you understand? We are trying to look for the books are written by this Mark guy, you understand? If I use just exact, it's going to be case sensitive, you understand? So the Mark field in our database is purely written as Mark, M-A-R-K, no small letters and capital letters, you get? So we have to use iExact for case insensitivity, you get? So just simply enter and let's check out Mark underscore books. Enter. You can see these are the books written by Mark. You can see we have Think and Grow Rich, we have Chike and the River. You can see we have gotten the books written by Mark. So we have to filter through the book using the author attributes which was under the book model. Understand? And after that, we have to look down. We have to chain down again to the name attributes under the author model. After that, we use the field lookups. We use iExact. Understand? This is to make sure we're matching the exact word, the exact name. But the I we have by the side helps to make sure it is case insensitive. You can use uppercase word or lowercase words, they all work fine, understand? So now we're going to do some more exercises now. So I want to filter out the books that has the word rich in the title, understand? So let's do that now. Just simply call these books rich books. So we're going to simply say book.objects.filter. So we're going to use the filter method because we're trying to get some books that has the word rich inside. So now we say filter. So now we're going to pick the title attributes. And say title. We're going to use another field lookups called I contains. You understand? It's called contains. So when you add the I, it makes the stuff check out for, makes it case insensitive. You understand? So I contains. So you're looking for books that contains the word rich. You understand? Types rich in it. So if I say rich or if I use rich in caps lock, is all fine because of the I in front of the contains, you understand? So I mean it was just contains and must be case sensitive, must match what we have in the database, you understand? But when you use the one that has I appended to it, it does not matter the form of, it doesn't matter whether it is uppercase or lowercase, you get? So now you can simply just put rich there, it's gonna still work fine. So now after you've done this, now just close the parentheses. So now enter. So just check out for rich books. Enter. You can see we have Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You get? So that's it now. So what we're going to do next is we are going to filter out all the books under the fiction category. So I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, so now I want to get all the books under the fiction category, understand? First of all, we need to select, we need to get this fiction category first, understand? So and this fiction category is the first category we created. You can simply say category.object.get id equal to 1, or you could simply just get it by name. So now let's get the category. We could simply say cat underscore 1 should be equal to category dot object dot simply say get. So now I want to get this category by name. Dot get name. Let me say so get name equal to, let's say, what was it called again? It's called fiction. So close the bracket and enter. So let's see cat underscore 1 Nice. So we've gotten the category of fiction. So what we want to do is I want to get all the books under this fiction category. So we could simply just say, let me say cat. Simply say fiction books. Name of the variable underscore books should be equal to simply say cat1 dot objects dot books dot all dot books dot all. So let's see if this is correct. So let's check fiction books, fiction underscore books, enter. You can see now we have Think and Grow Rich, Chicky and the River, Things Fall Apart. You can see everything is working really fine. So we're going to do one more query, understand? So okay, so if you watch closely from what we did here, you can see I did category.object.getName, you understand? You could either use the field lookups if you like. You could simply say category.object.getName underscore I exact, understand, or I contains, understand? So it's going to still work very fine for you, you get. So that's it now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to return a limited set of query sets. Instead, let's assume you want to return only 3 books or 2 books or just a limited number of items. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let me say I'm going to call this variable, let's just call it lim underscore books. Just say limited books should be equal to, so I want to just return just 3 books from the database. Normally we have 5 of them, but I want to just return 3. So simply say book dot objects dot all. So after you've done this, you have to put in a square bracket. So square bracket, and it puts in a colon sign and the number of books you want to return, understand? So what was it again? Oh, okay, now this is it. Now this is going to return 3 books from the first 3 books from the database. So enter. So let's check lim books. So let's see, enter. So this return the first 3 books from the database, understand? So I'm going to show you how to work. So if you want to return from the 3rd book to the last book, or from the 2nd book upward, so I'll show you how to do that now. So just call this some books. So let me say book dot objects dot all. So you could simply do, so this is going to say if I start from 2 to 5 now, so this is simply going to return from the 3rd book to the 5th book, understand? It's from Python slice method. It's going to start from the 3rd book down to the, so it's going to run from the 3rd book down to the 5th book, you understand, from the 3rd one. So before I need to remove this first parenthesis. It's not supposed to be the first colon, it's not supposed to be part of it. Control Z. Oh, made a mistake. So I'm going to remove all this dots all. So put in the parentheses. So say 2:5. So now I'm going to return the 3rd book down to the 5th book. So enter. Oh, there's an error. It's called book and not book. So some books should be equal to book dot objects dot all. So once return the last 3 books, you understand, the last 3. So we're going to simply say 2:5 and close and enter. There's also a different error. You see the error just here? I should have put the parenthesis after the dot all. Sorry for this mistake. So some books. So now I have to pause the video and write the code again. So now this is going to return the last 3 books from the database. Instead from 2 to 5. So it's going to start from 3, 4, 5. Instead, I'm going to return the last 3 books. So enter. So just enter some books, and enter. You can see these are the last 3 books we have in the database. Everything is working very fine. So this is just the basic part of querying database items. This is the basic part. So we see have the more advanced parts instead. So if you want to see that video, I'll also see your comments in the comment section instead. So we've come to the end of this video. So do well to like this video and subscribe to the channel. So we'll see you in the next video. So stay blessed and bye bye.